Hey, do you love music but have a hard time keeping up with it?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Well, we got a show all about music.
Who with it now?
So join me, Jonah Ray.
Shut up, dummy.
And me, Cash Hartzell. And weekly feature, Neil Mahoney.
Nailed it.
As we discuss the current events in the world of music with our guests.
Get off the cross, dude.
And play some minute music from listeners.
I was expecting a bigger reaction.
Things can get pretty heated,
First of all, fuck you.
but we always guarantee sound drops. Boy, you wiping your ass with your socks. So check us out wherever you listen to podcasts.
Motherfucker, Google it, dog.
And if you want your music featured on this show, email us at jonahradio, RAYDIO, @gmail.com.
Jonah Radio.
Scarpins Avenue.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-host Arm and Dan. Vendors, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits, the funny hits, and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey, Townies, welcome to another episode of Dumb People Town. Population you.
Population Scott.
H.Alan Scott.
Oh.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Can I make it the third? I feel like I want it to be
Sure.
H.Alan Scott.
H.Alan
Scott the third.
I have to say before we go anywhere,
Sure.
you guys are from St. Louis.
Yes.
Correct.
And I am from St. Louis.
Where in St. Louis?
What high school did you go to?
Kirkwood
High School.
Kirkwood High
Kirkwood.
School is a good
Thank
high school.
You guys
Roosevelt
are
Township.
like loved in the comedian circles in
Oh, nice.
St. Louis. I don't know about anyone
you.
else.
No, nobody
But
everywhere
I
else.
will say I saw you and your family leaving the airport in St. Louis once, and I was doing a shoot.
Oh.
And I was full of makeup, and I didn't want to come up and say anything to
should
you
have.
because I looked ridiculous.
What were you wearing? What were you wearing?
It was like I was coming off of a weird Friends like indie film shoot thing, so I had
Nice.
all this like eye makeup on that I tried to rub off before I
Right.
got on my flight.
You
and
most definitely should have come up.
you had children, and I looked like a drug addict.
I don't care. My kids love it. Like it's so fun because it happens once in a while. It doesn't happen all the time, but people come up and they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" And like, it's kind of neat for my kids to see that. Like, number one, even if you were wearing makeup and looked different than a person,
I looked like a
who's-
drug addict.
like a drug addict.
Yeah.
If you were nice, then it would
That's
be
a
a
teachable
teachable
moment.
moment for my
True.
kids.
Don't
Really,
ever
kids.
end up like that guy.
I think we were flying Southwest. Too.
Yes, it would have been
course
that
you
was-
were.
But I
Of
would
course you
always
were.
say to people, like, so we were in a toy store the other day. This is tiny, but we were in a toy store, and this guy came up and he said, "Hey, man, I love you and your brother." And he was just being really nice. And that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is about a minute later, he told me he was homeless.
Oh.
And then he started rambling and it got a little crazy, but he was really nice. And I was, like, I hope you get it together. And, talking about the toy store. And then he walked out and my son was like, "Did he say he was homeless?" And I was like, "Yeah, he said he was homeless." And he's like, "Well, I'm normally afraid of homeless people, but he was so nice." And I'm like, "Well, homeless people can be nice. Like that.
It's like that
not
Saved
a
by the
function
Bell
of
episode with
really
that girl
is.
whose dad is a wino.
Yes.
Okay.
I remember
Come
that.
on, H.Alan.
Yeah.
So
if
you walked up, he
So
would
I
at
could
that
be
moment
like-
he could have been like, "This person looks like
like a
they're
jerk.
homeless," and then
They're not.
I'm not.
Right.
See?
And then the other
I have
person is.
expensive makeup on.
Right. They're very.
And for anybody who thinks I'm insensitive, I called him a wino because that's the plot device in the
Yes.
show.
Okay.
Yes, because
True, not because you're judging.
right. Yeah.
Well, we're going to get into your podcast, what you have in a little bit, but
Yeah.
we first have dumbness to get to. There is dumb
Please.
stuff
We
happening
do.
in the world, and the world is getting dumber, we believe.
I love it.
Dumber, louder, that's prouder to be dumb, and all that stuff. So we need
Yeah.
to combat it through comedy, and we get stories sent to
We do.
our lovely Daniel Van Kirk, and we don't know the stories.
No.
You don't know the stories, H.Alan Scott. We don't. So let's jump into one.
Here we go. Sent in by NES Jumpman.
Love
at
him.
NES Jumpman. Been around
A
since
great
the jump.
fan.
Is he a
of it.
Wisconsin fan? I think
think
he is
so,
up
yeah.
in
That sounds
Wisconsin
Wisconsin.
about
guy.
right.
All right.
Is that a sports reference? I don't know what that
I
means.
love.
No, he's just a fan. That's
That's his
Okay.
Twitter handle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. I just love this title, the headline. Nobody hurt or burned in Tiki Torch fight.
Okay.
Jesus.
Oh, was
But
that
maybe great party.
I mean, is this an alt-right?
I mean, that's
argument?
That's literally the
Fuck
trigger
that.
that I get with Tiki
I know,
Torches
isn't that
now.
isn't that
What a
shitty?
horrible
We
reputation.
have to take them back.
They ruined.
We have to
ruined
take
Tiki
them back.
Torches.
Ruined
You know what?
backyard barbecue.
Everybody
Yeah.
should start having. I know we're at the end of summer, but I don't care. You know what? Winter might be a great time to get a little release from that Midwestern cold.
Yeah.
We should all start having tiki parties and take
I don't
Tiki
know,
Torches
because
back.
There's a time. It's like saying that you love the Cosby Show. Like you just don't say that for the next 10 years. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like you don't want to have the Tiki Torch and have your neighbor be like, well, "That's the
So
all
let
right
me-
Well,
neighbor."
here's a,
What if we had a
Tiki Torch stationary? Fine.
Oh,
Tiki
okay.
Torch carried. Now you do. I am.
What
gonna
about
lock
Yeah.
tiki
the
torch?
window
Yeah,
up.
you don't want a tiki torch on the move.
No,
Never.
No.
Plant
They've
it in the
ruined
ground.
that
No.
forever.
Stationary torches.
Yeah.
What if you had
I
a
think
tiki torch party burning all of your old Cosby VHS tapes?
Oh, that's
that-
not bad.
would that work?
That's a good idea.
Okay.
That's
Look,
good.
that's how bad alt-right people are. That we said this is how bad Cosby is. He's ruined colorful sweaters for everyone.
Ever.
This is how bad
Well,
alt-right people are.
they were ruined before.
Well, thank
That's
you.
true. Thank you for having the guts to point that out.
Let's just be real.
Alt-right people are so bad that they've ruined luau's. You sons
you
of bitches.
blew the luau.
What else has
Not
Cosby
letting them
ruined?
take the
Pudding?
Tiki Torch. Yes.
Pudding?
Roofies.
You can't-
Leonard
I
Part
mean,
6.
Yeah.
But he did that again years ago. It was long before we
Ghost
knew it.
Dad.
What was his show with the pen that went
Oh,
on
the
PBS?
picture pages.
Oh.
Picture
Yeah,
pages.
picture pages.
Oh, and
Picture
the kids will say the darndest thing. Didn't he
Right.
say that? Didn't he do that show for
He
a while?
ruined everything.
He ruined everything.
About to come back again, that show.
Tiffany
Wow.
Haddish.
Okay.
She ready?
2 men armed with tiki torches fought in the Easttown Mall food court Thursday, with one
No.
getting arrested and the other fleeing before police arrived.
So they're on fire. They're
Were they lit?
Dan?
no, I do not believe that they
so
were.
they were
lit.
purchased at like Target.
Yeah. No, this takes Midwest, Madison. This is from Madison.com.
There you go. So
Easttown
he-
Mall. I knew that name.
Dan. So 2 guys fighting with tiki torches is like redneck jousting.
Yes, 100%.
That's what it is.
But instead, like, they would never be on ostriches.
No, or
I
You
don't know why
also
I'm-
know that like these are 2 dumb. Can I cuss? Can I?
Yes.
cuss? Dumb as fuck straight dudes.
that's
Yes.
I mean, 2 tacky piece of trash
These aren't
straight.
gay
idiots.
men wouldn't do this.
They
Would
wouldn't
not.
do this.
They wouldn't.
They would take their Target bag filled with accessories and like
then try and
and
smack some-
moisturizers and just hit them with the bag.
That's right.
That's
With the
what
bag.
you do. Women have been doing that for years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The
Attack
tiki
with the
torch is the
bag.
extension, and by the way, it is the extension of an erect penis,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good. I never saw the gay one.
Sword
Didn't see
fighting.
the erect penis.
Can't believe I
metaphor.
can't believe
Wow.
I had to point that out to you,
I
H.Alan
mean,
Scott.
maybe we should talk after.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
We can talk
DeMonte
now.
Lacey Parr of Milwaukee.
That's the guy's name.
DeMonte Lacey Parr.
Lacey Parr is
Maybe
hyphenated.
he's not straight.
Those all they sound like 3 different parks in the Madison area. What? We're gonna
I'm
have a
taking the-
picnic. Where are you going?
DeMonte
DeMonte.
Lacey Parr is either the most fun gay guy you've ever hung out with,
Yeah.
or has his own brass knuckles on him at all times,
Yes.
or both, maybe.
It sounds like a drag queen in a way.
Right, DeMonte Lacey Parr.
DeMonte
you
Lacey.
seen-
Hamburger Mary's every Sunday night.
Hey,
Bingo, baby.
Come on down with Delta Work.
She just steps on stage and she's like, "I'm a fat B, but I get a lot of D."
All right.
DeMonte
Lacey
Lacey
Parr.
Parr
We really do need to talk.
of Milwaukee was arrested.
We saw when we went to after our shows in Salt Lake City. Our friends took us to. It was Pride Week in Salt Lake City. We went
Oh.
to a drag show in Salt Lake City. That was
Best thing
off-
I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Off
Salt
the
Lake
hook.
City, the queer community in Salt Lake City
Insane.
is awesome and unique because they're
Fun.
surrounded by repression. I was
Yeah.
raised Mormon. I know about this.
Oh,
scene.
yeah,
you
and
get
the
it.
gays just come out and they're just like, let's get fested. I mean,
And
they're
they
just
bring
ready
it.
to be gay.
I thought you
Sa-
were gonna say, "Let's get festive." No.
There you go.
so
Both.
Don't have to
Both.
talk afterwards.
Let's get fisted.
My St. Louis show was during Pride, right?
Oh, yeah.
in the Grove, and I was
St.
like,
Louis Pride
"Bring
is
out
great.
all of you
I have
St.
such
Louis."
fond
Come
memories
on.
of St. Louis Pride.
So anyway, I'm a fat B, but I get a lot of D. Someone said that it was really funny.
So
Metaphor.
DeMonte Lacey Parr,
Mhm.
full name always,
Always.
always.
That's
full
how my
name.
name is too.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
H.Alan
yeah,
Scott.
yes,
You can't
yes,
do
yes,
H.Alan.
yes.
H.Alan
Or
Scott.
Alan.
Yeah. No. Dumb.
DeMonte Lacey Parr from Milwaukee was arrested on tentative charges of disorderly conduct while armed and criminal damage to property. Remember, this is in the Easttown Mall.
Oh yeah.
Food court,
Wow.
Dan. In the food court.
The fight
This
had
is in front of a Panda Express.
I was literally just thinking Panda Express.
One guy is representing Panda Express, the other guy is representing Orange Julius, and they're just like jousting for the honor of their own.
I would fight over Crab Rangoon. That I would bring out a Tiki Torch.
I'd fight
for.
over an Aunt Annie's pretzel.
H.Alan Scott,
yes.
can I ask you a completely
Lathered in
off-topic
butter.
question that
Please.
just landed for me in my mind?
Yeah.
And I hope you take this in the compliment that I mean it from my heart.
sure I
Have you ever
will.
been told you look like Patton?
I have.
Yes.
I've been told Pat. I've been
If somebody's
told
like,
Paris
"Oh, yeah, this is-
Hilton"
yeah,
a lot. I've been
but-
told.
Yeah,
Perez.
you're better
Perez.
looking than that.
I was
no offense to
shooting-
Paris, but I think
Perez.
Patton's so cute.
I was
and, like,
shooting my documentary Latter Day Jew in Israel, and everyone kept coming up to me being like, "Are you Perez Hilton?"
Yeah.
Like they thought I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
Perez
yeah.
everywhere I
And
went.
you
But yeah,
said
I've
yes.
gotten Patton too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which
You
I
said-
hope you take as
And
compliment
the
because I think
boyfriend from
he's awesome.
Stranger Things, the Winona, who's Sean Astin?
Sean Astin Green.
Oh,
Yeah, I've gotten
yeah,
that
a little
too.
bit.
Yeah.
You said
Rudy.
I'm not Perez Hilton, but you still proceeded to draw a penis on their face,
Yep.
which I thought that was weird.
Wait,
In
Rand,
Sharpie?
remember when we were in Israel and the bus driver who we called Dr. Quincy, I don't know why, he asked me what my name
Medicine
was,
woman?
and I said Jason, and he looked at me and he was like, Jason Priestley?
Oh.
And I was like,
So can I tell you how full circle that has come for me? And I'm sorry to like on this.
please.
Hey,
So my
it's some
daughter,
people's time.
so my daughter's in gymnastics.
Jason
here.
Priestley?
Okay, so this
We
is
used to
when
do
we were
that
in
for
Israel
decades.
For decades, this was in our brain. So this is an Israeli bus driver who we called Dr. Quincy because one time he wore scrubs as a shirt, and we said
Quincy MD.
he's Dr. Quincy.
Dr. Quincy.
So he said Jason Priestley.
This is how dumb we were at 17.
And this is how full
but we're
circle-
still into like comedy and being silly.
Right. So my daughter is in gymnastics in Silver Lake here in Los Angeles, goes many days a week. And whose kid comes in? We're in like a team meeting, but whose kid comes in along with the
Dr.
father?
Quincy's.
No,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
no.
Jason
Priestley. And in my brain,
Uh-uh.
what do I say when I see him? Not, oh my
course.
God, there's
100%.
Brandon. Like
Walsh.
there,
Oh.
Brandon. Well, I don't say, oh my God, 90210. In my brain, I hear Dr. Quincy saying, Jason Priestley. So that came all the way back to me as an adult seeing this dude right here. It's ridiculous. All right.
All right, get to the joust.
The fight had to do with getting a ride. Officers went to the food court.
All right.
Oh,
Yes,
you
food
nailed
court.
it.
You said food
Oh,
court.
I did. I forgot.
All right, thanks.
See,
I
that's
just
how little
listened.
I know.
paid
I'm just here to
attention.
have fun. You're right. I did say Easttown Mall food court. Officers went to the food court after multiple witnesses reported two men physically fighting while armed with the torches. Police spokesman Officer Joseph Bucalero said the torches were of the electric variety and were grabbed by the combatants. Don't elevate them to that. These are two people who can't
Wait,
deal with
there's
issues.
electric torches?
I guess.
I
yeah,
guess you
little
flip a
lights,
switch
maybe.
and the
Yeah,
light
yeah.
goes
No,
on.
That seems wasteful.
I know.
They were
or
grabbed
amazing.
by the combatants from a nearby restaurant patio. They're not in the Coliseum. Lacey Park was in the mall parking lot.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Lacey Park.
this corner, Dumont.
Come on, lazy pa.
Finish him. Lacey Park, DeMonte if you're nasty, was in the mall parking lot with a security guard when police arrived. Quote, he said that's
Crying.
DeMonte. He said he was in Chicago earlier in the morning when he was approached by strangers in a vehicle asking if he wanted to make some money. The answer is always no.
Okay.
Wait.
By the way, if someone has just taken an electric tiki torch from a
Yes.
nearby restaurant patio,
Right.
and they fought someone,
Right.
the first, like, the only thing that should come out of your mouth is he came at me or my family or my
Right.
boyfriend,
Yeah.
my
Right.
girlfriend, whatever. He came at us and I was protecting. That's it.
Sure.
When someone starts with, I was in Chicago and a strange car approached me and asked me if I wanted to make it. Like, you're
Literally
already
just saying it's my fault.
You're
Whatever's
losing-
just happened in this
Yes.
mall is my fault.
You went down this rabbit hole. If you find a fox, that's on you. This is in Madison. So in the morning, he was just rambling around Chicago,
How
and they're
far
like,
away
"You
is
want to make
Chicago
money?"
from Madison?
It's an hour and a
Three-
half.
3
Hour
hours.
and a half?
3
Yeah,
hours.
yeah.
Okay.
Depending on traffic.
Yeah, thanks.
That night he's gonna be a tough one tonight.
So
Okay.
what is he doing there?
That's the
I think
thing. He
so
said
he's
fighting
saying
people
that,
at a food
wait.
court.
Is he saying that maybe the truck or the car picked him up and dropped him in
he
Madison?
was in Chicago early in the morning when he was approached by strangers in a vehicle asking if he wanted to make some money.
Bait bus.
He was given some money and a ride to the Easttown Mall where he was instructed to buy a cell phone. Do not do any of this.
This
Like a
is like
burner
Wisconsin
phone? Yeah.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, but
Wow.
it starts in Chicago.
But it's not good enough for Breaking Bad.
No,
It's,
no.
like, it's like on the Pluto network.
Right.
Yeah.
breaking okay.
But so these people in Chicago wanted to wanted him to ride with them to Madison to buy a burner?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
If anybody asked you to do this, your response is
No,
thank
thank
you.
you.
And you're in Chicago. You can get a burner anywhere.
Yes.
I literally,
Why do you need me to do it?
Why go
99
3
times
hours
out
away?
of 10, if somebody goes, hey, you go, sorry.
Yep.
It's sorry. If they're like, hey, Matt, sorry. And if they ask you a question where you actually could or should help, no one's going to be mad that you initially said no.
Right.
Yes.
Like, hey, will you watch
just,
my bag at
sorry.
the airport? Nope.
No,
I can't.
sorry, can't do that.
Sorry,
right
I
now.
wish I'd love to help
Does
you.
it say what the phone was for? I'm dying to know.
So he's given money in a ride to Easttown Mall.
How
where
much
he's
money?
instructed to buy a cell phone. The other person became upset with DeMonte Lacey Parr when DeMonte Lacey Parr couldn't complete the transaction. So he threatened DeMonte Lacey Parr with leaving him behind in Madison.
Oh.
There's some crime. If they want to
I'm
buy a
gonna
phone this
take
far
my
away,
burner
I'm
to the
really
Easttown Mall. I'm gonna burn till I can no more.
okay.
I don't know that one.
So then they threatened DeMonte Lacey Parr with leaving him behind in Madison. That's when the Tiki Torch fight started near the outside patio.
Okay, so they're in Madison,
went
Wisconsin,
from
3 hours
verbals-
away.
yes.
I'm going to fight this guy with the Tiki Torch so that they then have a very awkward 3-hour ride
Back to Madison or
Yeah.
back to Chicago.
After
That's
the jousting
awkward.
match.
And you
That's
started
awkward.
your morning in Chicago.
Right.
Dude, if you have the freedom to suddenly be in Madison in the middle of any day of the week,
That's
you're
a life.
unemployed.
That's a life.
Right.
But that's a life. I mean, I would love that actually. If
To
I
be
could
able
just
to-
casually go to like
Madison.
Palm Springs
Yeah.
from LA.
I
Right
would
now.
have
Where
him,
is
you know.
H.Alan Scott? I don't know.
I don't know.
He's got to get a burner out in Laughlin.
Somebody
You
wanted him.
understand?
Somebody wanted him to go to the OC to get a brush.
Wait, how much money?
They don't say, but we will dig
How
into
do
more
they
of
not
this
say?
after we take a
Well,
quick little
let's
break.
take a break. We'll be back with more H.Alan Scott right after this.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
Hey, it's me, Daniel Van Kirk, breaking into this ad portion to tell you about my tour. All of everybody who listens to Dumb People Town and Pen Pals, I love you guys. And I just want to let you know that I'm probably coming to a city near you or to a city near people you know. They live there. So come out and see me. Go to danielvankirk.com. This is all going to start the final run of the Together Tour I'm doing the 13th. We're doing a live Dumb People Town. So you can come to that. But then on the 14th, I will be in Philly, and then I will be in Baltimore, and then I will be in Chicago. I'm headlining Zanies in Chicago. It's my first time headlining a club in Chicago, Illinois, and I would love to have so many of you people come out to Zanies. That's the 16th through the 19th of October, and then I get right back into that Together Tour the next day on the 20th, and I'm going to Detroit, and then I am going to Rochester, and then Boston and Albany and New York and Cleveland. And then I pick back up in November on the 11th, and I'm doing Louisville and Nashville and Milwaukee and Cincinnati, probably not that order. And then I end my tour on Friday, November 15th in Rochelle, Illinois. So if any of those cities are close to you, please come out and hang out with me. Come to those shows. I would love to see as many people there. I think we're doing it at Hilarities in Cleveland. That's going to be super fun. That's a Friday night, and there's so many other great shows as well. Obviously, New York and Philly and upstate New York. You guys have been asking me to come there, so I am. Boston as well. Again, go to danielvankirk.com to catch me on the Together Tour as I wrap this up. For everybody who's come out to shows in the past, I love you and I appreciate you. And everybody who's going to come out, let's hug and say hi. danielvankirk.com, the Together Tour. Thanks.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Our guest on this lovely Friday episode of Dumb People Town is H.Alan Scott. We cannot not say his entire name.
I support it.
Let's plug what you're up to.
Yeah, let's talk about the
your
podcast,
podcast.
which
Oh,
is
yeah.
fascinating and interesting. And I feel like people who are listening to this and love this will
We'll
also
dig it.
love what your podcast is.
Yeah, it's called You're Making It Worse.
Why
Here.
are we making it worse?
Well, you guys kind of are, I guess.
kind of are.
I mean,
Sorry.
you're men, you're white men, so
Yeah.
you're probably
True.
fucking
Jesus.
something up.
Right. Problematic by nature.
Yes. Just by walking in the room.
I'm sorry.
How dare we? How dare we be us?
You're Making It Worse is a podcast hosted by myself, Elliot Glazer, and Brent Sullivan, all great
I
comedians.
love Brent Sullivan.
He's so good.
Brent
He
Sullivan we got paired up with him in
Ann Arbor.
Michigan
That's where
years
he's
ago.
from. Yeah.
and he knocked our socks off with how funny he is.
He is so
great stand-up.
funny. He's so funny.
Okay.
But the podcast is basically, we never really felt like we understood gay culture in a lot of ways. We felt left out of a lot of things,
Brent's
like especially with
stand-up and
the rise
that
of Instagram, and even Brent's stand-up is that. It's just
Yeah.
not really understanding
Right.
where we fit in the mix of things, because we're out and we're gay, but we don't
Have all
really
the knowledge.
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the podcast is basically us trying to understand a little bit about gay culture that we feel left out of, but also oftentimes hating.
Is
on
there?
it as
That's
well.
so great. Is there a little bit of the attitude of like, you know, when we got into being, especially with Instagram and social media and all this stuff, like when we got into doing comedy years ago, 25 years ago, there was this feeling of like, okay, we just got to write the best, funniest comedy we can and then go
Yeah.
out there. Now it's like, you need to know how to market yourself.
Yeah.
You need to know how to do this. You need to know how to transcribe your stuff. It's like, wait. I don't know. I don't understand any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's getting farther and farther away from what
And it's
made
even
me-
further for minorities. I mean, when I started out in St. Louis at Cafe Soul, downtown St.
wow.
Louis,
Sure.
Nice.
it's funny, the funny bone in the suburbs wouldn't put me up because I was out and gay. I
Oh,
was
that's
like,
funny. Funny Bone wouldn't put us up either. and we had TV
oh, that's funny.
credits.
I've never heard a good thing about the funny bone.
never.
I know.
I never
By
could
the way,
get,
this is the funniest about the funny bone that's existed. Yeah.
I never could get any play in sort of the white rooms or the main rooms. And so the black community kind of adopted me, and I was able to do my own thing in that room. And then I moved to Chicago and stuff. But I had to really work at being out because I was this token thing, even though I never really felt it.
Right.
And now that I'm a little bit past that age, at least, younger gay comedians are able to like monopolize on being gay. It's actually one of their strongest suits. And for me, watching that comedy, sometimes I'm a little like, this is bottom of the barrel gay jokes. Like, and straight people are applauding it because they feel like they're going to get harassed
If they don't.
if they don't applaud it or
Yeah.
if they don't like it. And it's like, I want to make straight people feel comfortable to tell a gay comedian, you suck,
Yeah.
but I support you being gay.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like,
I can
you're
still
a
love you.
horrible comedian.
That's right.
I'm commenting solely on your comedy.
Yeah.
But isn't that what we say about we've talked about this at the roast battle too, like when a comedian comes up, and I mean, I'm not drawing a comparison to being disabled and being gay. I'm just saying that's a different
It's true.
person.
It's
Yes,
not.
it is.
It's other.
It's other than
Yeah.
what people are used to, or what
Other than
they've
the
seen-
mainstream.
other than the mainstream. When that comedian loses,
Mhm.
it's to us as valuable to that comedian as when that comedian wins.
Yeah.
Because what it means is you're being judged on the same criteria: funny, not funny.
I've
This has
always-
nothing to do with who you are and what you look like or what you do or what your sexual orientation is or who you are. It's, did you win tonight? Were you funnier than
100%.
that other
Yeah.
person?
And it really is. I mean, for me, my comedy and my work and my writing and everything has always been, I am out, queer, open, but that's not the basis of where I'm coming from.
Same with
So-
us about
so-
being twins.
Yeah.
That's how we can relate to it so
I
deeply.
mean, we are
because
out as twins.
Yeah.
We came out
Yes.
to our
just
mom.
came out to our mom, and she
Wow.
probably already knew. But I mean,
She
whatever.
can't fool
I
a
mean,
mom.
the
You can't fool a
glasses thing
mom.
really
A mom
threw
on-
it
She's
off.
like, I
knows.
suspected it in high school. No, but for us, we don't like to make all our entire act about being twins. We, in fact, shy away from it because we don't want to be a gimmick. Brent Sullivan's the same way. I mean,
Yeah.
his stuff, yes, it works its way in what he's doing, but he's like, I want to be funny first.
Exactly.
And then, yes, that's a part of who I am, and I will turn that comedy lens on it.
But
But
having-
same as you.
You don't have to start with outing yourself at the top of your set and then talking about why you're on a date with a man later. Like, you
Right.
don't have to explain that.
Right.
You can
could
just
go
be
to the
on the date.
I was
You're
on
on a date.
I was on a date.
It's like
Yeah.
writing. It's like
Yeah.
screenwriting. Where you're like,
Exactly.
start in the room.
Just- yeah.
We don't need to walk. We don't need to see the. Just start in the
People
middle
will
of the scene.
accept a story, a presence, anything, whatever you give to them.
Because
I got
what
new-
are
I
you
got news to
observing?
you.
You're probably going to be observing the tenets of a relationship, which all human beings have.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
People will be able to relate to that more.
Yeah.
If you just say, so I'm on this date and I was with my date and
Mm-hmm.
and he said da 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 to the waiter and I was like, what? And you're like, oh wow, now
so now
I've been
this
on
is
that
about
date.
an inappropriate person that I'm with.
Yes. And that's the brilliant twist is that like, and what also kind of endeared me to Brent initially was I had not met him. I was in New York. I was performing. I was living there, and Brent was too at the time. And a comic came up to me, and there weren't many gay comics, doing sort of the East Village scene that we were doing. And they said, I love you. There's this one comic. He's this gay comic. You would love him. The best thing about him, you wouldn't even know he's gay. And to me, and this is sort of the conceit often for the podcast is, I'm very, you can't tell I'm not gay. Like,
Right.
I'm very gay, and I'm very openly gay and queer in the way I dress and what I do, and I do drag and all these things. So I'm very gay. But when I heard that, I was like, well, that's not necessarily a good thing. Like
Right.
you think he's good because you can't tell he's gay. Like that's not a good thing. And so when we started the podcast, we kind of joked that, you know, I'm the really gay one. I'm like the gayest of all of them.
Yeah.
And then Elliot's sort of the middle area where he doesn't quite know where he fits. He gets
It's
me,
great.
he gets Brent, and Brent is basically homophobic.
Yeah. Self-hating.
He's an Under Armour shirt.
Yes.
Well, I love that. And again, you're making it worse. It's a great podcast. Listen to it, subscribe to it,
Oh, yeah.
and
Thank you.
and
You will
check it
love
out. All right, so let's finish this story because
do it.
there was a
Jousting
Tiki
in a
Torch
mall.
jousting match going
Right.
on at a food court, and someone got dropped off to make money from buying a burner cell.
And then they couldn't complete the transaction, so DeMonte Lacey Parr was threatened with being left behind in Madison. That's when the Tiki Torch fight started near the outside patio. The altercation moved inside the mall, so they didn't even start there, where Lacey Parr was seen on video throwing chairs at the other involved subject.
Oh my God.
Then taking a broom from a cleaning cart, breaking the broom in half and swinging the broom handle close to uninvolved bystanders. Dude, don't.
Okay.
I mean,
Don't rope in.
I give him credit because that's pretty badass.
That's some Seagal stuff.
Yes.
You start breaking things in half to have
He's
a
now
double
a
baton.
police officer.
I
What's
know.
that?
Yeah,
Seagal's a
well,
police officer.
Well, he's deputized.
I don't know if he's deputized.
Yeah.
But deputized by
He's
himself.
allowed to eat donuts on a stakeout. That's
Right.
what we know.
He's been eating them.
Right. Nobody was hurt during the fight. I mean, that's almost like
How is
Peter Griffin
they
and
were
the chicken.
electric tiki torches.
Hey,
Right.
by the way,
No one connecting.
by
I don't
the
think.
way, if you see someone take a broom violently from a cleaning cart, it is your job as a human
Yes.
being to run away from that.
Go
Yes.
away.
If you are
Go away.
still walking your mall walking path to get your steps in for the
Yeah.
day, to get your
Yeah.
10,000
Shit
steps,
Oh,
bumps.
that step
and
goal.
someone swings a thing at you, that is on you. I'm not
Yes.
blaming the victims.
Yeah.
I'm just saying understand your situation and get away from it.
Get away from it.
We will close out this wonderful mini episode on this. How old is DeMonte Lacey Parr? Now,
So we don't
are
even
our
know who
guest,
he's
H.Alan
fighting, though,
Scott.
right?
No, that guy's gone.
And this journalist, this Damont's dumb as fuck, but the journalist is also dumb as
Oh,
fuck.
yeah.
How
Yeah,
do you
agreed.
not put crucial information
How
in your
much
story?
money?
Agreed.
What kind of phone? I'm assuming
Who
Cricket.
was?
Why? Why?
Who was
Why
he
was
fighting?
it all?
he's at a mall.
Well, who was
This
he
is like
fighting?
a modern day Patty Hearst. He was stolen from the streets
and he
of
got
Chicago.
roped in, and he was as bad
Sent
as the
to
people.
Madison.
brainwashed.
No, you weren't.
No,
It's
you
the
weren't.
Symbian
I'm a Black
Liberation
Panther now.
Organization. Yeah.
I'm a Black Panther. No, you're not.
Symbian
Nope.
Liberation.
All right,
Organization.
H.Alan Scott, you are a guest. You can go first, Tig, or third.
Tig
Which
is the slot
position?
between the two of us to guess his age.
You
Where do
can pick where you want to guess, or you can guess out the gate, whichever you want.
Oh God. I feel like he's not anyone 20-some-year-old has options in life, so they're not going to say yes to that.
Okay.
So it has
Well,
to be someone in their 30s who
Okay.
feels the approach
Feeling
of
like you're
40.
You're gonna go first then?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your guess?
37.
Okay.
37. Jason
That is,
or
by the
Randy?
way, great logic. I liked watching you work through that.
Mhm.
Jason, go
I'm
ahead.
gonna say 25.
25 from Jason.
Feels like he could rent a car, but he doesn't know he could.
I feel like, yeah. Well, he definitely doesn't have a car.
Yeah.
I think the car was repoed.
Oh, yes. He definitely doesn't have plans.
No.
Right.
There's no insurance.
No.
No insurance, no
Zero.
car.
Nothing to do that day.
No.
41.
41.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Okay.
you're going there.
41,
there because
37, 25.
I think he likes to also tell people he doesn't have a TV.
Okay.
I
Have
read.
you- Have you seen? Like people say around him? Have you seen? He's like, I don't have a TV,
right.
so I probably have it.
Okay. Randy said
41.
H.Alan Scott.
37.
37. Jason
25.
Okay. One of you's in the right decade.
There we go.
Because get your answers in now. We will leave this wonderful mini episode on this. DeMonte Lacey Parr, the man who was picked up in Chicago, almost left in Madison, couldn't buy a phone, got in a fight, broke a broom, is 21 years old.
Oh my God!
Yes.
21.
DeMonte,
Sad.
This is
there is
just-
time to turn this car around.
Okay.
You have time
I don't
to
know if
turn
that car's
this ca-
ever turning around.
You're
This is
right.
College fun at this point.
Oh, what
Just
a
going
dummy.
on
Yeah.
like a little excursion.
I
I want to
know.
know what he does in Chicago.
Exactly.
Nothing,
We'll
apparently.
get you back there. You got
Yeah.
no plans. That's how you do
That's
it.
our story.
All right, You're Making It Worse is the name of the podcast. Check him out, H.Alan Scott, along with two other great comedians and people who I love the three different attitudes towards it as well. That's fantastic. We're going to subscribe. I want you to subscribe to that. And oh shit, we got to get back to work.
Dum 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 dum
Scarpins Avenue.
A podcast network.